Hello everyone, let's continue to do more user problems. This one is another typical user problems with trig functions. And so let's get started. First, we are going to choose our u. And if we look at this function right here, that's another product here. We have sine cube of x times cosine x. So that's the product here. And what we have here is that this is a there was a more complicated function right here. What I mean by complicated is that there was an inner function and then there was the outer function. So there was function composition in this first function right here. This second function right here is just a simple function cosine x. Okay, so how do we look at this function? This cube right here, when we put the cube here, it really actually just mean that, let's rewrite this integral first. So it really just means that it's sine of x and then the whole thing raised to the third power. So that's that whole thing is raised to the third power. And then the other cosine x, right? There was this cosine x dx right here. Okay, so that's what happens. Now we will choose our u to be this thing here. So let's do that. Okay, so we are going to let u be this thing. So let's make a u substitution right here. Then we are going to get what? Okay, so u is equal to sine of x. And then what do we get for the du? We are going to take the derivative, right? So we are going to get du is equal to, usually it's du over dx, but then I'm going to already move the dx on the right-hand side of the equation. So all I need to do is to write down the derivative and then put down the dx. And so du is going to be cosine x and then times dx. Okay, so that's cosine x times dx. And do we have that right there? We actually do have that. That's cosine x dx right here. Okay, so that's really just our du. Okay, so that's our du. Okay, so now what? Now we just need to make all that substitution going back to this integral here. So we are going to get what? We are going to get the integral. Okay, so now this sine x is becoming the u, right? So we put the u right here. Okay, so we get the u, and then don't forget the power that you have on the outside, right? There was this cube right here, so I'm going to put the cube for this u here. And then what about the other stuff? The other stuff is the cosine x dx, and that turns into the du based on this substitution right here. So we are going to just write down the du. Okay, so that's that. And then now it becomes a really simple integral that we just need to integrate by reversing the power rule. And as you can see here, there is no more x after all the substitution has been done. Okay, so now let's integrate this u to the third power, which is actually, what is that? That's u to the, you add 1 to it, so it becomes the fourth power. And don't forget to usually leave some space in the front because we need to multiply by the reciprocal of this new power here. The new power is 4, so its reciprocal would be 1 over 4. Okay, so now one last step. Last step is to just replace the u with the original substitution here. And that's actually just what? That's sine of x, right? So let's do that. We have 1 over 4. And then what is that? U is sine of x, right? So let's do that. Sine of x. And then don't forget that there was the fourth power right there. So I'm just going to put the fourth power in here. So instead of putting it in this form, then I will just put the 4 between the sine and the x. And so that indicates that it's sine of x. And then the whole thing is raised to the fourth power. Okay, so that's it for this problem. And don't forget that you need to put the constant, right? You're adding the constant that will give you the most general antiderivative for this integrand here. Okay, so that's it for this problem. And we are going to do more U-Sub problem next time. Thank you for watching.